Hi, welcome to Sugar Free. This is your daily tarot for Monday, the 10th of September 2018. A beautiful evening here in the south of England. Sun's just starting to get all golden, lighting up the cobwebs, shining through the leaves. Absolutely lovely. It's really interesting when sunshine illuminates spider's web. You see all the colours, like petrol blue, bright pink. There's a lot going on in that cobweb when the sun shines through it. Absolutely lovely. Anyway, little last shuffle here. This will be a 3-card major arcana reading. I'll then be pulling one from the swords, one from the wands, one from the pentacles, and one from the cups, and then one from the wild Kuan Yin oracle. So I'll just give these one last go, one last cut. There we go. Okay, card number 1, the energy as we are coming into the reading. The Devil in reverse. Excellent. Okay, card number 2, the block or drain on the power. The Hierophant. And card number 3, the key to power. Wheel of Fortune. Woohoo! Wow. Well, straight away, what I'd say is there's a sense of liberation from inner demons, inner hooks, inner compulsions, inner addictions. And addictions can be anything. You know, you can be addicted to ideas, addicted to ways of seeing things, addicted to particular psychological or emotional responses to things. You know, there are all sorts of addictions. It's not just about chemicals. So there's a sense of liberation from these, because really the devil is about being held down inside yourself. For, it has to be said, some inner payoff. There is always a payoff to addiction. I mean, I think even something really heavy like a heroin addiction, and I have known a few people who have lived and died with heroin addiction, and there's always a payoff, even if it's just to be able to say to themselves that none of it is anything to do with them, because they are addicted. This thing rules their life. So it's a fantastic abdication of power. Anyway, that's just one example of the payoff from addiction. There is always a payoff. When the payoff is no longer worth it, we stop. That's what it boils down to. So there's a sense of liberation from this. The block or drain here, the Hierophant in the upright. This is perhaps part of what we've liberated ourselves from, because the Hierophant is our own moral code. It's the codification of spirituality, the politicization of spirituality, but it's how external systems of the spiritual sit within us as individuals. So this is basically your own private rule book. And here it's operating as a drain or a block on power. And I just see down here, I mean, we have in this Tarot de Marseille, the ancient Italian depiction of the tarot, we have here the High Priest, Il Papa, the Pope, sitting on his chair. And we've got various acolytes here. We have the monks who've come to worship and get counsel from him and find out what it is he wants them to do. But down here in the corner, we have one dude who's looking the other way. Naughty, naughty, naughty. So he's not looking to the Hierophant to tell him what to do. He's looking in his own direction. So with this sense of liberation, it looks to me like it could be possible that there is this sense of inner liberation, which then gets hijacked or runs the risk of getting hijacked back Because perhaps, you know, with this, with the devil in reverse, there's this newfound sense of freedom and a kind of open horizon. And that can be somewhat intimidating, you know, and it can be tempting to kind of scurry back. I just like to get these absolutely straight. There's so little that can be controlled in life, but I can control these being straight in the camera. Yeah, with the wide open horizon of the post devil liberation from the hooks and the chains and the ties in oneself, there could be a sort of like, whoa, I don't know what's out there, the horizon's too wide, and this sense of sort of spiritual agoraphobia, which sends you running back to the rule book. But this is operating here as a block or a drain. And the key to power here is the wonderful Wheel of Fortune. Everything's up for grabs. In this 180-degree horizon, represented by the devil in reverse here, goodness knows what's out there. Keep going, keep going. As Thelma and Louise said, should we just keep going? Let's just keep going. Don't drive off a cliff. Just keep going. It's all out there. It's all out there. You do not need the refuge of the high priest here, the Hierophant. You don't need it. It's going to block you. It's going to drain you. The key to power is to open your spirit as wide as that 180-degree horizon. There's a place I know in the far west, far west, the furthest west you can go in England, and it's Land's End in Cornwall. And up behind Land's End there's a hill called Chapel Carn Bray. There isn't a chapel there, perhaps there was once, but it's the highest hill on that peninsula. Have a look on Google Maps. Cornwall goes down into this peninsula that's sticking out into the Atlantic Ocean. And that's why it's called Cornwall. Corn from the Latin, I think it's Latin or Greek for horn. It sticks out like a horn into the ocean. And on the top of this hill, Chapel Carn Bray, which is just a couple of miles from the very end of the land, at Land's End, there are some rock carvings up there. Ancient rock carvings, the like of which are only found there at the top of that hill. Ancient carvings in the granite, been there for thousands of years. Yeah, maybe 4,000-5,000 years. The Bronze Age, that's 3000 BC. They are only found there and on the Isles of Scilly, which is a little archipelago, however that's said, of islands further out, about 25 miles out into the Atlantic Ocean, off Land's End. And there are ancient carvings there that are the same style as these ones on the top of Chapel Carn Bray. It is the most spectacular place. But anyway, standing on the top of that on a fine day, it is all but wraparound ocean. You can see, you turn right behind you to the southeast and you can see all the way around to the northeast, passing due west, which is thousands of miles of Atlantic Ocean. It is the most magical place. And it's all out there. It's all out there. I mean, okay, in that example, there's only thousands of miles of ocean out there, but by God, it's all out there. And that's what I'm seeing here with the Wheel of Fortune. Don't run for the refuge of the rule book. Because, the rule books that we write for ourselves throughout our lives are not exclusively our own. They're based on things that were taught to us before we knew even that we were us. before we knew we could think, before we knew what freedom was, before we knew what free will was, and before we knew that we were the little person we were. We were told certain things about life, about people, and about, most importantly, about ourselves. And the rule books that we then go on to write for ourselves are based, at least in part, on rules handed down to us by others. And they're not always good rules for us to be following. So I see here, I just see a 180-degree horizon. Wonderful. With all the good luck and all the bad luck in the world, everything is out there. This is halfway through, pretty much halfway through the tarot cycle. And it's when, you know, the endeavor, the relationship, the thing that you're doing, whatever it is that has brought you to this reading, you've got a certain way in, and you've realized that basically you can't control everything. You cannot control what is happening in totality. That there is a certain amount of random stuff out there, and in many ways that's what life is. It's how we apply and react to the random. Some of it can be controlled, some of it cannot. And this Wheel of Fortune, whether it's in the upright or whether it's in the reverse, I think I would be saying the same thing today in the context of the other two cards that are here. You know, how we react and manage the fact of what cannot be controlled in life is a major plank of our story. Right, let's get one from the swords. Okay, Five of Swords. Well, this really does remind me of the Devil in reverse here. You know, the war is over. The war is over. Battle fatigue, I would say, but there is victory here. There is victory, but there are also these very sorrowful characters in the background here who just war of attrition comes to mind, where the sides are equally powerful, and it could just go on and on and on and on. And these dudes have given up. So there is victory here. But I think the victory that we have here in the Five of Swords is what that this character has here, is at least in part predicated on the decision on the part of these two to just drop their swords and end this fight. So this is about a struggle ending. And there's choice involved in the ending of this struggle. It's not just things coming to an end. It's a choice. And I also see here the expression on the face of the dude holding all the swords. I don't know if you can see that. Yeah, look. There's something rather unpleasant about that. He's going, ha ha ha. I kept on fighting until they just gave up. That's not a victory. That's just being horrible. We all probably know someone like this. I certainly know someone like this who will just keep fighting until, you know, what's being fought for is no longer relevant. It's just the fact that this fight keeps going on, this war keeps going on, and in the end you just go, you know what, have what you want. And they go, ha 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 ha, and now I've got what I want. Good luck to them. Good luck. So this to me in a way represents the running back to the rule book and the sort of going, you know, in the old way, you've won. You've won. But you've only won, I'm not saying you personally, in this scenario, one has only won this battle in the context of the strictures that one was living under with the devil. But it's over. It's over. Let's get one from the wands. Okay. Knight of Wands. Now, what I'm suddenly seeing here also is the pomp of the Hierophant here. I mean, do you think the Hierophant would ever go back into his room after he's been pontificating and sort of giving everybody the benefit of his wisdom and think to himself, God, was I right about that? Like, everybody listens to me and everybody counts on me to tell them what to do spiritually, but maybe I'm not right. He doesn't do that. He's just like, yeah, well, I'm the Pope. Of course I'm right. Very, very dangerous. Very dangerous. I'm seeing that here in the Knight of Wands. The fact of the matter is that this battle to get free of these inner chains and inner bonds and inner bindings with the devil here, it's not a victory. It's simply adjusting to a new reality, which is represented here in the Wheel of Fortune, this 180-degree horizon. This is not a victory. This is a realization that whatever the payoff was for living within the devilish shackles here in the Devil card, whatever the payoff was is no longer worth it. And I would say there is humility in that, but I'm not seeing much of it in either of these cards, the Five of Swords or the Knight of Wands. So that's something to guard against. I mean, having worked out what the problems are in the self, to then go around saying you've got it all worked out, it kind of puts you back where you started. Okay, Ten of Pentacles. Well, yep, so some karmic investment has been cashed in here with the Ten of Pentacles. Spend it wisely. Spend it wisely, because, as I said, all with the Wheel of Fortune here, in that 180-degree horizon is all the good luck in the world and all the bad luck in the world. Spend this wisely. And one from the Cups. Page of Cups. Well, I'm just thinking we've actually got two living things in this card. We've got this rather dandy page here, and we've got this little fishy in the cuppy here. What this is saying to me is that, I mean, this card would not be what it is without this slithery little scaly thing here. And yet he doesn't seem, in this context, in the context of this reading, to be kind of that impressed with the presence of this fish here. Well, I mean, after all, it's just a fish. I'm really getting a sense of the danger of arrogance here. I mean, if the inner binds have been loosed and cut here in the Devil in reverse, going around sort of being all like the big I am because you've kind of liberated yourself. I mean, I say you, but I mean one. This is not specific to any particular person or any particular star sign at all. But going around sort of going, oh yeah, I've worked myself out now. Yeah, I'm enlightened. That's what I'm getting here. Like, yeah, I'm enlightened. Yeah, I've overcome me and the demons. Yeah, all done, good. Like, There is always more out there in the world to test you. Right, let's see what the Wild Kuan Oracle has for us. Okay, I'm just going to flick the deck a little bit, loosen it up. Now, Kuan Yin, if you haven't watched any of my videos before, is the Chinese Mongolian plains end of the mother of the Buddhas from Tibetan Buddhism, who is called Green Tara. And Tara also appears in the Hindu and Jain traditions of India. Basically, it's the mother. It's the mother. It's just the great feminine and the mother. I've been working with the mantra of Green Tara, chanting it every day for nearly 5.5 years. And I've also done an extended practice with the mantra of Kuan Yin, who is the subject of this oracle. And the mantra of Kuan Yin is Namo Kuan Yin Pusa. And if you fancy softening up your energy and understanding a bit more about the battles inside you, I thoroughly recommend chanting that mantra. I'm going to hold the deck. I'm going to say the mantra in my mind, and we're going to open the deck and see what we get. Oh, okay. Right, we've got Harvest Mother watches over me. Harvest Mother watches over me. Okay, so there has been a harvest here. Let's just look at this lovely card. Right, they've got the sheep, and there's the Harvest Mother and the little Kuan Yin. Well, I don't know which one's which. Doesn't matter. And the sheep has full udders, and we have the corn here at the bottom. This, for me, chimes in with the Ten of Pentacles very strongly. Something has clearly been reaped here, and it's being brought in safely. You know, the harvest is always a crucial time. You know, all that growth period, you know, through the spring when the seed bursts out of its shell and the little seedlings come, and it grows and it grows and it all grows and grows and grows and grows and grows, and all the conditions have to be good enough for the harvest to come, for the crops to grow. And then we have the harvest time. You have to choose carefully in terms of the prevailing conditions when you're going to harvest your crops. You know, if you do it too quickly, they haven't matured yet and you won't get the full goodness from them. If you do it too late, they've gone over the edge. You know, leaving the crops in the soil, the earth is not a larder. You can't just leave it in there until you're ready to eat it. It has to be harvested at the right time. So there is a harvest here, as we saw in the Ten of Pentacles. Harvest Mother watches over us. The spirit of the harvest watches over us. So ultimately there's safety in this process. If it's possible to guard against a certain quality of pomposity about what has been achieved. Right, I'm going to leave it there. Thank you very much for watching. Please like, please share, please subscribe. Yeah. Thank you. Cheers, bye-bye.